Welcome back. Let's now talk about that ongoing violence in the Western Cape, and 7 people were shot dead in Philippi East in the Western Cape last night, sparking fears of escalating violence. And police have since launched a manhunt for the perpetrators. The shooting comes after Acting Police Minister Firoz Cachalia shared his plan to curb gangsterism and violence in the province. And for more on this, let's now bring in Caroline Peters, the founder of the Callas Foundation, to tell us some more about this ongoing issue in the Western Cape. And Caroline, thank you so much for your time this evening here on SABC News. I mean, let's start off here. It seems as if, the police are in a losing battle when it comes to the issue around shootings and killings in the Western Cape. What is your reaction as the Callas Foundation when it comes to the latest mass shooting in Philippi East?
Hi, Mbali, and thank you for that. Thank you for having me once again. So I want to say that, even when the minister spoke in Mitchell's Plain recently, a month or so ago, he said that they do not, in fact, they had a plan, but upon being questioned by some of the journalists, he agreed that they don't have a plan. But I want to say that this is not an isolated incident. So yes, 7, this is a mass murder. So it's even worse than normally. But daily about 2 kilometers from where I stay, it's called the Flay. There's murders happening every day. So it reflects a deep systemic failure. It's as if violence across the Cape Flats has been normalized. Gangsterism, it's a symptom of a consequence of many other social justice issues. So for instance, poverty, unemployment, broken social structures and poor service delivery. So for women and children and older persons, this constant violence means living with trauma and fear every day. It erodes the trust and weakens families, and it turns communities. We see communities as become war zones. So it's not just about bullets and gangs, it's about broken systems and trust that the human cost is unbearable in Bali.
And Caroline, talking about communities, and quite often communities know, those behind the shooting and know where really the crime stems from. And then one would also ask, why is it so difficult for many community members to come forward and report these crimes?
Because of their own safety, because there's a lack from the police to protect. So people do not want to speak. But we are not, communities are not passive in Bali. We are organized. We're organizing different things in different ways. However, if we do not have the help of SAPs, so if there's a march plan in our community, we march, we have marches, we march to the merchants, to the drug dealers, we march to gangsters' home, but it's at the cost of our own safety and at the violence that is perpetrated within the communities. We see our young boys. Just a week ago, we had to place a young man into a shelter because the gangsters threatened him that if he doesn't turn gangster, they're going to kill him. Another mother, a week ago, her son has gone missing. And so after the one boy went missing, we placed the other one into a shelter. And so it comes at a great cost. So if SAPs do not work with us in communities, but I want to say that we are not just passive standbyers. There's many people in the communities who mobilize and that is reactive. As an organization, we have a voice program to shift the mindsets from a young age, teaching them values of respect, accountability, and non-violence. Women leaders, kitchen aides, and youth mentors are driving this resilience. We're turning pain into purpose on the Cape Flats.
And Caroline, when it comes to, fighting the scourge of violence and fighting, the issue around gangsterism and crime in your area, what support do you think you need as communities? Because I can hear that there are a number of programs, that you have embarked on to try and fight this issue.
We need a whole of society approach in Bali. We need policemen, prosecutors, social services, civil society and communities to work in alignment. Accountability is not optional. It's the foundation for rebuilding trust between the communities and the state. So the government must invest in long-term community-driven safety programs and ensure visible policing and functional courts. We don't want sympathy. We need solidarity We need strategy and sustained action. The people on the ground are ready. Government must meet us halfway.
And what is your advice to other communities facing the same challenges as yours?
I want to say organize. You know, I often say that we often sit and we're too scared, we're afraid. And yes, I know it comes at a great cost to put yourself out there. However, I want to say there's more good people here on the Cape Flats. They're not. So we need to become organized and go back to basics, from the local street committee to the area committees, you know, and how do we all support? But like I say, the government must meet us halfway. We know that the Cape Flats has become one of the most dangerous places to grow up in. Our youth and our children are dying, but I want to say to the communities, families live in fear and that. But if we organize, we can end the scourge.
All right, Caroline, thank you so much for your time here in SABC News. That's Caroline Peters, the founder of the Callas Foundation, just giving us her reaction there to the latest mass shooting in Philippi East.